I side with you two. Typically, customers will overlook any bad experience they have with you if there's loyalty or respect involved with you. I have 4 years of retail experience and about 3 years with hospital with the healthcare. I have interactions and relationships with directors, charge nurses, CNAs, respiratory therapists, just the volunteers in the hospital, different customers at Bath and Body Works is where I had my specialty and my retail experience from. People who'd come in just for semi-annual, people who'd come in for gifts for themselves, people who wanted their hand held the whole time, people who knew what they wanted to be pointed in that direction and get in and out. It's as long as people trust you, if there's any bumps in the road, they'll just overlook it. There's been items at the hospital that have been on back order, and it's not supply chain fault, it's the manufacturer. It's an item in a recall, or the machine that made it broke down and they can't fix it, or just the shipment hasn't come into our distribution center yet. There's a whole list of things. There's 20,000 things or 20,000 different little things that could stop an item from coming in. It's never planned. Things just happen, and it's our job as supply chain to make sure the needs of patients and of nursing staff and the doctors are met. There's been nasal cannulas, the things that provide oxygen to patients. It goes inside your nose, hooks around your ears, connects to the wall, it provides oxygen. About a year and a half ago, they went on back order, and the substitute, it went from, the original was a 7-foot. The substitute was a 14-foot. Not a problem. Did the same thing. Unfortunately, the substitute, the 14-foot, went on back order as well. We didn't have any. And so I made the executive decision with the information from respiratory and the okay from respiratory to get high flow cannulas. They're just green. They're not clear. They work just the same. I got them in for the ER. So when patients came into the ER, they had cannulas so they can have oxygen. It's little things that, even though, we didn't have cannulas, everybody's panicking. It's, you have a problem if you can fix the problem, even if it's just a little Band-Aid on the leak. It helps. I've had people at Bath and Body Works that will only go to my store if I'm there. I've had customers with disability. I've had blind customers or people with disfigurement, and I overlook that. I have family members who have that. I don't see it. I look at the person internally, not externally, and I've had my management try to help them, and they've just never had a good experience. They just always ask for me. Where's Ada? She's not at work today. I'll come back when she is. It's when you give people respect and loyalty and you make them feel as they're at home when they're not at home, they overlook anything that's bad. I've had diapers not get ordered for certain floors, and I don't have any, so I gave them the size bigger under pads, and yeah, the nurses are upset because, they have to give a bigger diaper on a patient or put them just in under pads, but they know it's not your fault. I was essentially like the leader of supply chain on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays at my hospital for about 2.5 years. And that was a lot of responsibility. And I had charge nurses that counted on me on a daily basis. They knew me in the hallway. They knew my name. It wasn't like, oh, I don't know who that is. It's not like, oh, Red, you. It's Ada, thanks for helping. Thanks for figuring out. It's when you create a relationship with people, a real relationship, not, hi, how are ya? Not the fake stuff. Anything, even if it's your fault, any little problem, they typically just look past it because there's all this positivity and all this kindness and all this trust from you. A little speckle's not gonna diminish or damage your relationship with them. I've messed up. in healthcare. I've never caused damage to a patient. I've never caused harm. I've never caused a death. And you get yelled at by directors or nurses or even your own boss. But you move past it and you keep going on and prove them that you're there and you're there to do a job. And that mess up will never happen again. And I got yelled at the first few months I was at my current job working with the OR. I wasn't sure how to do their inventory. I didn't know out there their product moved, and I learned, and now there's not an issue. I don't hear complaints. I hear praise. You learn from your bad experiences with people and you move past it and you don't forget about it. You keep it in your back pocket of, I messed up there. Let's never let that happen again. It's when people truly trust you, bad experiences aren't going to, mess them up. Down in the South, there's a grocery chain called Publix. You don't say I'm going to the grocery store, you just say I'm going to Publix. That's just what it is. And I've had bad experiences at different Publixes. I just don't go to that location anymore. I just go to my Publix. That's all it is. There's a loyalty and a trust that I go to Publix, I'm getting high quality meat, a high quality experience. It's even little negative things. It's not going to push me away from a whole company. I just typically don't want to go to that location now. It's, if I have to, I'll drive out of the way to mine or go to a different one. It's when you have this trust and this loyalty and this relationship, even if it's been a few months or a few years. I've had people I work with, I've been with the company for 30 plus years. People adore them. People talk highly about them. She's done different positions. I trust her. I trust Sherry. It's when there's this respect between, I would say, customer and employee, or between departments, little things don't mess. Little things don't matter. I've had products go on back order. I've had products, Bath and Body Works, be discontinued, and customers weren't aware of it. You're not on their Twitter feed every 2 seconds. You don't pay attention. Things get discontinued every few months. It's seasonal. A lot of things are seasonal. You cut, you add. You cut, you add. That's all that happens, and they get upset. They didn't realize their favorite went away. They didn't realize it was maybe a 2 to 3 month item on their shelf. So you suggest something that's similar. You can't replace it. It's irreplaceable. But something similar to get them by until the next year you can get that either hopefully specific fragrance or something that's closest for that season. When there's just trust with people, you overlook it. It's kind of like the same with your parents. You've had bad experiences with your parents, but you trust them to lead you the right way. I can attest, I was a crappy teenager. My mom probably hated me for a few years. But as an adult, if she suggested something, I'm going to take her word. She wouldn't push me in the wrong direction. She wouldn't harm me as an adult. Even though she wanted to strangle me to death a few years ago. She wouldn't push you or push me into the wrong direction. It's when you have this trust, this loyalty, this love for people in your interactions. You overlook the bad and you keep focusing on the brightness. Keep focusing on the good.